Okay, so here's a little bonus video. This is stuff that doesn't really apply to just a question. It's more general. And that's because a lot of interview skills are subtle arts. For instance, you want to be calm. You don't want to be nervous. I mean, it seems simple, but actually a lot of people show up and they're so nervous that you can tell they're kind of short of breath. They don't know what to say. They're nervous that someone's going to ask a question they don't know the answer to. So they're already kind of like short of breath. You can hear them breathing difficultly. That's all a sign that the person is nervous. They're not sure of themselves. It's totally understandable. But if you can be the person who's calm and quiet and collected and okay with silences, these kind of things go a long way. So here are some tips, some things you might want to think about to help you. For one, for me, especially for a phone interview, you're relying on your voice to carry a tremendous amount of the nonverbal signals. So being calm and relaxed is key. Focus on that. Put your energy on that. And if you can take a step back and actually meditate for 5 minutes before the call, that's going to help. You're going to be more calm, more relaxed. And that's going to be a huge advantage. So meditate a little bit before. Breathe. Just take the time to breathe before the call especially, but then on the call, take time to relax and breathe when other people are talking, even when you have a moment after a question's asked. And you can say something like, and breathe for a second or two. That lets them know you're still there, but that you're taking time to think. That's great. You want to be there early, so be on the call early. Make sure you're not showing up a couple minutes late. It's just an extra sign that you're prepared, you're ready to go. Be ready to use thoughtful pauses. Again, you can say, that's a great question. And think about it for a second. Don't think about it too long. You don't want to go like 10 or 20 seconds and not have an answer. Believe it or not, that happens. That just means you have no idea what's going on. And if you really are that confused, you have no idea what to say, think of a good question to ask them to give you some time to think. So think of a piece of what they asked if you're not sure how to answer it, and then respond with a quick question and say, I think that's a really good question, but before I answer, could you tell me, and then add something, some little piece of it that you want to know a little more about that's going to give context to your answer. So don't talk too much. If you're just rattling things off and not getting any feedback, that's not a good sign. You are asking way too much or talking way too much. And let them tell you that they enjoyed your answer, because that's a way for you to interact. Think of it more as a conversation, not as they asked me something I have to answer with the perfect answer. That's not really it, honestly. I mean, it's okay to answer short and concise and be clear, but then let the conversation evolve. They might ask you more details, or they'll get through their questions, and at the end, it'll be more conversational, which could be great too. Be careful about where you are. In addition to not being late, don't be in a loud environment. Make sure you're in a quiet space. Take the time to do that. I think a key point here is that, and I mentioned this before, the point of a job application is to get a phone interview. That's really the main reason to put all that stuff into your cover letter and your resume and so on. The reason to do a phone interview and the outcome you're trying to get is the in-person interview. So don't worry about trying to cover everything on the phone interview. They're just trying to get through, the big bulk from the job now to the phone interview. They're trying to get through the phone interview to the people they're going to meet in person. So be curious enough, be excited enough, be interesting enough that they think, yeah, I really want to meet this person. I really want to sit down with them. I feel like it needs to go to the next level of actually meeting them. That's the goal. Another question you could ask if you're confused, or at the end when they ask you for questions, is you could say, what kind of a person are you excited to have fill this position? That's a great question. And the more they tell you, the more you can understand if you're a good fit or not. If you can, try to understand the names of the people that you're going to be talking to, and refer to them by name, especially in email or in a cover letter or something. But even on the phone, if you know who they are, or write their names down immediately once you start hearing them on the phone, because the most important word in everyone's language is their name. That means more to them. It has more associations to them. It's the most important word in their language. So if you know their name and you say it right, then that's going to make a big impression. People are going to remember that. Also, after the interview, send a note, a thank you note. Again, address the people by name. And you can send it to all the people at once if you'd like, or individually if you really want to go the extra mile and thank them individually. But again, their personal name really matters. And again, you want to really bring your role to this organization, your person, how you're going to show up. So you want them to picture you in the role, and as much as you can give them to do that, the better. Be positive, be impactful, show what you'd like to do in the role and why you're excited to jump in. Those are huge advantages. I mean, you want to share your passion and let them know how excited you are and that you're already imagining being in the role. Like, you've already thought beyond the interview. You're excited about the job itself and wanting to get into the job. And talk about we if you can sometimes. Don't do it too much, but say, what I think is so exciting about what you guys are up to is this and this and this. What I'd love to do together would be something like this. I think it would be lots of fun for us. And so, like, that type of language that you're already imagining yourself in the role, it's awesome, because then people are thinking, yeah, I can kind of imagine that person there too. And that's a big advantage for you. So good luck. These are just some bonus thoughts. I hope that they're helpful. I know that there's a lot that's going on in an interview, and there's just so much to think about. The most important thing is to be calm and be centered and share your excitement and your passion, but also take a step back and meditate and breathe. And even if you're extroverted, even if you want them to see how excited you are, you can still do that with a calm and collected and confident voice and approach. So I hope that's helpful for you. I know there's a lot to think about in an interview. Let me know if you have any questions, if there's anything that I can be helpful with. If you want to write me an email and say thank you to me, my email is travishellstrom@gmail.com. So send me an email anytime. And if you have any other questions, let me know. I'm happy to respond. Good luck. I know job interviews are very stressful, but I hope you enjoy it. Oh, one last piece. It's nice to say that you admire the organization, and regardless of what happens with the position, you'd honestly look forward to working with them in some way. That means a lot, because it's a difficult thing to have to pick from a wide variety of great people and pick just one person for a job. Often they want to offer more than one job. So the chances are, if a job does come up, you'll be in the running, and maybe you won't even have to go through the job application process. They'll hire you without a job application and just bring you into a position. So think of the networking and partner development as a big piece of what you're doing. And you're not just interviewing, you're getting to know people in an intimate way quickly at a very high level. And then that partnership with that organization can blossom regardless of this position. And if you demonstrate that kind of concern and trust and love for an organization, people notice. That goes a long way. And if you can then develop that into job opportunities later, that's great. So think about it broader than just this interview and whether you get it or not. There's actually way more to the process. So good luck, and let me know if I can be helpful.